get fit. So another one.
Another one.
One thing I can tell you, you're the hip hop, but get hip hop, but dog. Understand? The hip hop, but dog. Hip hop.
Hip hop.
I was about to say how funny it is to hear the nigga say "Ki hip hop dog" every time he's piano, 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 piano. Ki hip hop dog, piano, piano, piano. Very tricky. Very tricky.
Very tricky. All right, so welcome to another really hot episode of Pop Radio with myself, Ms Cosmo, hanging out with my main brother, Scoop Makhathini.
Lezo.
What's good, my brother?
Everything is lovely. Cannot complain at all.
We're in a good mood. I think we're excited about the guest that we've got in studio with us today. It's going to be
not that we weren't excited about all the other you guys.
I know. Yeah. No, I mean we get excited every time we're in the studio.
For sure.
Because coming into the studio, it means we're about to, get in deep with someone's past. We talk about things that we normally don't really know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's what I love so much about Pop Radio is that we get to dive in a little bit deeper than what you typically hear on like a PR type of interview.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I loved the Bash interview. I also love the fact that we talk to people other than artists.
Yes.
Most of the time.
Yes, yes,
So I really dig that.
Yeah. All right. So before we get into the interview for today, we also just want to, touch in on what's hot on the streets.
Yeah.
What's good with the music scene. So who have you been paying attention to this past week?
This past week, I finally have an artist from the continent. He's a Ghanaian-born artist. His name is Aminu Pablo.
Nice.
He has a track called Sacred Love. He's about to release something real soon. It's not hip hop. It's more Afrobeat with a reggae twist to it.
Nice.
Very easy listening music, driving, especially on road trips or chilling at home, cleaning. Very uplifting as well. So I really, really like those vibes.
Nice. All right. So for me, I have been obviously just like kind of paying attention to what the kids are doing from the trap scene and things like that. But somebody who kind of caught my attention this past week was Mustbedubz. So we know him obviously for a lot of the collaborations he's done with all the new kids, the Saucies, the Money Badus of the world. Dumitladi, he works with him quite often, doing a lot of like hectic trap stuff. His big song, Cook Up, was, I think there's like maybe 10 artists on that song.
Wow.
Obviously, I'm exaggerating, but there's a lot of them.
Sure.
He just dropped a single recently featuring Alpha Cat, Banabadez, as well as Costa Titch, and it's called Amstel. But it's got like that piano, hip hop vibe situation. And obviously with the climate of where South African culture is right now, it's also nice to kind of hear producers as well as artists kind of playing around with different sounds and not necessarily saying, hey, we're hip hop at 1000%, let's kind of stick to this vibe, especially for the trap kids. You know what I mean? So Mustbedubz has really been impressing me with a lot of his releases. So I just wanted to give him a bit of,
Mustbedubz.
Mustbedubz. I just wanted to give him a shout out for that. I'm listening.
It's crazy that you'd mentioned Costa. I was in Cape Town, and damn, the older I'm becoming, the more I'm enjoying Cape Town. When I was young and I had that little fire to work, Joburg was the place. But now that I'm getting older and quality of life means a whole lot more, Cape Town is really, really appealing.
Are you saying you're going to leave me?
Hell no. But yeah, so I was in Cape. Also, when you meet people in Cape Town, it's almost like you meet a different version of them than when you're meeting them here in Jersey.
Yeah.
But I digress. So Nditibana no Costa no Shampuru Makenzo Payana. We had a great time, and I could literally see firsthand at the shift of the new kids, what occupies their brains, what they are about, as opposed to their predecessors, to talk about diet, to talk about meditation, to talk about manifestation. These are the things that Shampuru and Costa are doing. Yoga, waking up and meditating at 9 a.m.
Say what?
Writing down their things on their manifestation books, like
Really?
all this new age indigo child knowledge. They are manipulating it and using it. But to talk to rappers who are having those convos, I was like, okay, this shit
At
is
their
changing.
age.
At their age. Shamburu doesn't even DJ with headphones. He's so in the frequency.
He's just out there, just rocking the whole time.
God is the most greatest.
Always tankozalo with the dreadlocks and whatever. Yeah,
like,
I know.
It was something else, and I really enjoyed it. And I got to see that, Yabona, like something's happening, something's coming, and there's a new wave coming about.
That's dope.
Yeah.
I like that. And I think it's also nice to hear that there's new energies also coming through. And not necessarily feeling like we have to kind of hop on with what we have been dealing with. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So making the space for new energies and new sounds. And that's why I was so excited about Mustbedubz, because I like the experimenting that he's doing with his music, you know?
Yes.
It's dope. All right, so we are about to jump into our interview with our guest for today. He is international.
Let me throw my job.
All right, so there's obviously been a lot of conversation because this man has been in South Africa for some time, and all the conversation about him and why he's here. We're about to find out a little bit more about that, but we do have Vic Mensa who's going to be joining us for a little chit chat right here on the POPradio. Yay.
Yeah. A division of the POPcast.
Yes.
Run it back. We're gonna have who?
We're going to have Vic Mensa in the studio right here on the POPradio.
Manifesting some real things out here. That's the first international. Trust me, it won't be the last.
It will never be the last. Trust me, we're about to take this thing to the next level. But here we have Vic Mensa.
Yeah. That sounds mad surreal. Like POPradio, Vic Mensa. We could be anywhere in the world right now.
But you're here with us. What's up, everybody? All right, so we have our guest in studio with us already. He is going to be chatting to us just about what exactly he's doing in the and of course, maybe just a little bit of a continuation after a little lady joined us for POPradio a few weeks back. But yeah, we do have Vic Mensa in the building.
Yo, what's going on?
What's good? How are you?
On, y'all? Man, I'm blessed. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome to POPradio. And of course, you have been in South Africa for some time now. You've been doing a lot of press. You've also just been, checking out what's happening in Cape Town. How are you feeling the vibes of South Africa?
I love it, man. We were actually just sitting in the car listening to piano music and kind of analyzing it, you know what I'm saying? Because Chicago, we have a style of music called house music.
Yep.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And just kind of finding some of the parallels between, but I overall, though, I love this country, man. The culture and the food and the people and, I mean, the sheer beauty of this place is like amazing,
Sure.
Beautiful.
Just to add on to that, first and foremost, you arrived like on time. You were in the car like on time.
Yes.
That's crazy.
Oh, yeah. When I come back to Africa, I always forget that I need to be on African time.
Exactly.
But like, that was like, oh, this dude is in the car waiting. When Dimple said it, I didn't believe it. And then
it takes a few weeks. Were I to be here for like at least a month, then I would shift into African time.
Yes.
Sure.
Because I was just in Ghana and I'm just a punctual person, and so I'm in Ghana. I'm showing up to stuff 2 hours early because
crazy.
everybody's coming 2 hours late,
Exactly.
So I had to get on, they call it Ghana man time over there.
Yeah.
But then I go back to America and I kind of got to shift back into my,
So speaking about Ghana, you are half Ghanaian. Your dad's Ghanaian.
Yes.
That I didn't know. Did you spend some time there, or did you find out about that as you grew up in America? Talk to us about your upbringing.
I always knew I was Ghanaian, because I grew up with my father.
Sure.
When I was 11 years old, I went for the first time.
Nice.
When I went this January, this was my fourth time. But now I'm just making it more of a priority, to be present and to be building and collaborating, not only in Ghana, but in Africa as a whole, in South Africa and Nigeria. I'm just recognizing the power that lies between us as Black people being united. You know?
Yeah, I think that's beautiful as well. Obviously, when you have an African parent who is so proudly Ghanaian, like you said, you've always kind of known that you are that person. Was he like very strict about the fact that you needed to know your African roots from what he was teaching you, even though you were staying in the States?
My father is very educated. He's a PhD, so he was always teaching me history and giving me context, because growing up in America, you learn nothing about Africa.
Sure.
As Black people, it's like we're taught Black history in American schools starts with slavery and ends with the civil rights movement. You learn nothing of the greatness and the accomplishment of Africa and African people. But that was not my situation because my father is almost, a historian.
Nice.
It's crazy, like when you actually look at the culture right now, from music to fashion. You Chicagoans, man, you guys are fucking shit up, and it's from an intellectual place and also a creative place. Kanye, the Baracks of the world, Virgil, Lorenzo. Every Chicago, Don C, everybody who's
Shout out to
literally
Don C.
fucking up. Ivan
that's my
Jasper,
brother.
who's like a graduate of this shit. So most of you guys are coming from this place, and it's very, very educated. I didn't know that about Chicago. Like I just the one side that we've always heard was obviously the Chief Keef drill, violent sounds. But when you scratch the surface, you find that there's a lot of education, even down to Kanye's mom and his pops, how heavily involved they were in education. Lupe Fiasco, Chance the Rapper.
Yeah.
You could go on and on and on, Have you ever analyzed that, or was it just something that was second nature to you guys?
Chicago's a city that shows you the truth about America.
Sure.
So on one hand, Chicago is everything that you think it may be. It's violent, it's hectic, but it's also, like you say, culturally influential and educated and, rich with history and heritage. It's all those things.
Sure.
Nice. Well, I guess also kind of growing up in that kind of space where you're saying it's culturally rich as well. You're kind of growing up with the likes of Chance the Rapper, obviously, because you guys had done some music before, and meeting somebody like Kanye. Was it one of those things where you kind of felt you needed to make music with some of the greats like him to kind of get yourself to propel to a bigger space? Or were you kind of just saying, okay, well, I need to kind of stick to the type of music that I want to do for myself before I kind of get a cosign like Kanye?
I didn't really choose how that happened. It just did happen. A good friend of mine is a producer by the name of Michael Uzawuru. He's definitely African. I don't know.
Uzawuru.
Yeah.
It sounds bad
Japanese and
African.
African at the same time.
Drop a bomb on that. I don't know what Uzi family is from, but Uzi is
Might be a cousin of Uzi Vert. I'm not sure.
No.
Relax.
But Mike Uzawuru, he does a lot of production for Frank Ocean and has always been real close with him. But at the time, he was like a protege of a guy named Omas Keith.
Yes.
Omas Keith.
Sarah.
Ooh.
Got you.
Okay, so we having that type of conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Omas that's my big bro. You know what I mean? And so when I was, I was probably 20, 21 maybe, making music with Mike Uzawuru and Omas. And so it was like songs that I think I was singing on a track and Uzi had produced it and Omas was playing some music for Kanye and he heard it and it was something that was unreleased that I don't think ever got released, and that's what Kanye heard, something super random of me. And so then he had me come in the studio not too long after that in LA. And when I met him, I recorded the vocals for Wolves off Pablo and, just started working with him a lot. I was just like in the studio with him freestyling and coming up with lines and, he likes to write collaboratively.
Sure.
You know what I mean? And so he saw that I was clever with just coming up with lines. And so he was like, I'm going to Europe tomorrow. Come on. So,
I like
so
that
it just
you
kind of
mentioned
happened. Yeah, it just kind of happened. It wasn't like I was like, I need to get a Kanye cosign,
Yeah.
But you
or
always
something
wanted
like
to
that.
make this music, though.
I always studied Kanye's music. You know what I mean? Like, I learned so much from Kanye before ever meeting him. So obviously, at the opportunity to work with him, I was like,
Crazy.
hell yeah, But it's like, I guess in a way, it was like I was already set up to do that type of music because I started doing music influenced by Lupe and Kanye and Common and Jay-Z and all these guys that literally work together. You know what I'm saying? Those are the people that inspired me. And I feel like as artists, we really are like, you know, a melting pot of all of our influences, and that's what gives us our, you know, some of our references.
For sure.
Yeah.
And it's like,
For sure.
and so when it came to be, it was like it just made sense already, you know.
Yeah, and I guess also the signing to Rock Nation also kind of then filtered through because of that conversation with Kanye and getting the co-sign. Was that something that you had kind of set out to do, or was it something that Jay-Z was like, "Yo, you're actually pretty dope. Let's sign you"?
You know, that was actually separate from Kanye, and I met Jay-Z before I met Kanye,
Wow.
and
I thought it happened the other way around.
Yeah, so did I.
yeah, it actually didn't. It was just like the Rock Nation thing just hadn't like been announced. So it's
Okay.
like I met Jay-Z before I met Kanye, and it's slightly confusing, but really not though. You know, it's just like I was talking to mad different record labels, and then I started talking to Rock Nation through a guy named Lenny S. And you know, then I met Hove, and then I met Hove again, and once I really started to chop it up with him, I'm like, okay, I mean, I'm gonna do this.
no-brainer,
This
yeah.
makes sense. You know what
I
I mean?
mean, what else? It's,
Like,
it's
this
the
makes
obvious
a lot
thing
of
to do. You know what I mean?
I like that you touched on these meeting, like Kanye, met Kanye, I met Hove on tour. We always read these things, or I always read these things, whether it be on blogs, whether it be on in magazines. But I always am wondering the nitty-gritties of these travels. Like when you meet Kanye, who arranges the meeting? Does he hit you up, or does your management hit you up?
Right.
Like, how does that happen?
Yeah, because they're not the most accessible of people.
Exactly.
And everybody's trying to get them like to listen to their music.
Yeah.
So
When I met Ye, like I said, it was through Omas.
Through Omas.
And you said Sa Ra. See, Sa Ra is one of my favorite groups. You know what I mean?
Straight up.
A lot of people don't actually know that Ty Dolla $ign was in Sa Ra.
Wow.
Yeah, under the name, under another name, it was Ty and something was the name of his
Sure,
duo.
sure.
So on the Sa Ra album, Hollywood Recordings, look for that. But yeah, I met Ye through Omas, and he was like, Kanye, I want you to come to the studio, you know. So
And you break in.
it was really that simple. And then it was like once I went to the studio, I just kind of didn't leave, you know.
Sure.
Next thing I know, we're in New York. And
When you flying overseas, is it pack your bags, we bouncing on his tab? You don't have to worry about anything. You're in the jet, or how does that
I was
work?
not paying for that.
Because I'm interested.
I should
I
hope
would have
not.
though. I mean, to tell the truth, I would have,
Yeah.
you know, but that just wasn't the situation. It was like we were working on some songs, we were writing some songs, and the songs weren't done being written, you know. And he was like, but we got to go to Paris now. And I'm
Clothing?
like, cool.
Who you shop? He's fitting the tab even for. I mean, as simple as that. I wonder. You know, I mean, the hotel room for sure, the food for sure, the gear. I mean, this. You gotta have to change clothes. Like,
Buy a
who buys
toothbrush.
these? Like, I'm worried. I'm thinking about these
Wash
things.
your
It's
face.
like,
something.
dude, Kanye was just sponsoring my whole life.
It's like, yo, here's a card, go sort it out. You know?
Nah. I mean, you know, I don't even really remember the specifics. I think I was wearing like a lot of like Mr. Completely. I was definitely getting Yeezys, you know. But
Okay.
like Mr. Completely. I was Fear of God. You know what I mean?
Sure.
So everybody makes clothing in the whole clique. So it's kind
Sure.
of like
Nice.
you getting clothes here, you getting
Nice.
clothes. I mean, I always just been on some fresh shit, some fly shit. That's how we are where I'm from. I'm from a neighborhood called Hyde Park. So Don C is really like a legend of Hyde Park. I don't know that Don C is specifically from Hyde Park, but a lot of this style, you know what I mean, comes from the
luxury
likes of
sportswear.
Don C, you know, and there's a group called Dem Dare. That was kind of like a precursor to the style that would become popularized, you know, by Kanye and others. Dem Dare was kind of like the foundation of like a Chicago hip hop style. When you look at like a guy like Don C or a guy like Ye, you know what I mean? There's a dude named Reggie Noble.
See him.
Reggie No, you know about Reggie No? Oh, you know everything, man. You
Students,
talking about, you know about, well, because you know Reggie No just did the Louis thing with Virgil.
Virgil.
You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So Reggie No, that guy is like,
He's an encyclopedia.
he's the original. You know what I mean? His polo index is ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? And so that's kind of the cloth that I was cut from. That's what I come from. That's what I studied as a 10-year-old, 11-year-old kid was like them there, looking up to them and just seeing how they do things.
We're gonna visit this clothing thing a little bit later, but Cosmo,
Yeah. Was obviously you now coming through to Africa to do a really awesome collaboration with Miss Nadia Nyama. We had her on the POPradio for a couple of episodes ago, and obviously chatting about your collaboration and how you guys kind of came together. And you guys had spoken, I think, on social media. Was that your first time hearing Nadia's music with your connection that way, or was it something that you had kind of researched prior?
I guess now that you say it, we did meet on social media.
That's what she said.
That's crazy.
Yeah, you know that's how the collaboration came together, and then we met in Ghana to shoot the video.
Yeah. That was beautiful. I think also kind of seeing a lot of the imagery that was coming through on there as well. I think it also just made sense for you guys to collaborate in Ghana for you, obviously because you're from there. But
Right.
I think it was also Nadia's first time out there as well. Was it something that you had also kind of envisioned to record it in Ghana, or was it Nadia's decision to then say, "Yo, actually, let's kind of do it there"?
Originally I wanted to come here to do the video when I was going to Ghana, but then due to the pandemic, I think that some travel restrictions were in place at that time.
Yeah.
And they were like, a friend of mine had just got denied trying to go to South Africa, and I guess it just worked for her to come to Ghana.
Ah, okay.
And it's like January, December. That's the Ghana time.
Yeah.
Sure. December.
That's the South Africa time too.
Official. Apparently,
Yeah.
last year December was really
December.
official. They giving you guys.
December, that's the Ghana time. I ain't gonna lie.
Yeah, they giving you guys land out there. They giving you free reign if you're an American citizen. Have you taken advantage of that, or do you know about
You
it?
said
at all?
land.
I think so.
I have not heard that.
Maybe not land, but citizenship.
Oh
should I
yeah,
say.
citizenship. I am in the process of getting my citizenship.
Nice. Stevie
So-
Wonder too.
Yeah, I guess you could get that. I think you can get it even without like having a family member that's
Yeah.
Ghanaian. Now, my father's Ghanaian, so there was some complication with his citizenship. He had to like relinquish one to get the American
Yeah,
citizenship,
I
and so he
know.
has to get it again. Just bullshit, you know what I
Sure.
mean? But I'm working on getting mine, and he's getting his reinstated.
Talking to you now, Vic. I'm not gonna lie. You're mad calm, bro. What's your Zodiac?
I'm Gemini.
It makes sense. There's two sides to this man. Cause the
Nadia's
other-
a Gemini too.
Nah, she's a Taurus.
Is she? Oh,
But she's
okay.
on the cusp,
Yeah,
though.
Yo, that's GQ couple points for knowing. Ding, ding, ding. We're ringing bells out here. Anyway, dog, I wanted to say, when I see you, when I look at you and the music, there's an indignance. I won't call it an anger. It's a righteous
fury.
yeah, right? It's right there with you. And even in your interviews and the way you come across sometimes, I like it. I like the way you are in Hollywood and you chill with all these people and you know all these people, but you're very much detached. You don't live in their world. And that now talking to you, I just want to know, how do you do that? Because you could have easily gone the super Hollywood, super exclusive person, but to even be able to link up with Nadia on social media, you have this huge network of people, but at the same time, you really maintain your own ideas, you maintain your own voice, and to some extent have carved out this place for you where you can only judge yourself, which is a great thing, especially looking at American art and hip-hop.
I just live in the real world, man. I'm a real person. And I've been caught up in all that shit before. You know what I mean? Like, I just been blessed that I've been able to survive it, first of all, because a lot of young artists don't.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And having been in that place, being, like addicted to drugs and wilding real hard.
Did you have an addiction?
For sure. I've been addicted to a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? And and I've been blessed enough to be able to survive a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So I feel a lot of gratitude, you know what I mean? And I don't live within Hollywood.
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's like I live in Chicago, you know what I'm saying? So I live surrounded by people living real lives. It's like I don't spend the bulk of my time talking to or, with people that are rich and famous. It's like I live with real people. You know what I mean? Most of my guys are hustlers. You know what I mean?
No
Making
doubt.
something happen. And those are the people whose stories inspire me. You know what I mean? I recently moved back to Chicago like about a year ago this time. You know what I'm saying? And those are the things that really inspire me. But I had to learn that, you know, because at a point in time, I was definitely blinded by the lights. Yeah. But, you know, like I said, been fortunate enough to survive that and remember what's important to me. And it's not all that shit.
Are we getting some music? Are you still under Rock Nation? You still got the tattoo. You haven't removed that, so the loyalty's there for life. You understand? But in terms of hip hop, dog.
Them tattoos is hip hop.
Hip hop, dog.
So in terms of your
Hip-hop.
of your alliance to record label or how you're gonna get your music out now, how does that go?
Yeah, I put my music out with The Rock. We just put out a project, might be 2 weeks ago now. It's called the iTape. You know what I mean? So that's out now. Yeah, shout out to Emery, shout out to everybody at The Rock. You know what I mean?
You know Emery Jones like that?
That's my guy, man.
Sure.
Are you looking to do any music with any South Africans now that you've been here, or have you collaborated with anybody here?
You know, I really would like to, man. We just got back to Joburg, I think yesterday. But I really would like to. My man Gibson was just putting me on. What's the name of the artist he was just putting me on? He was super dope.
Major points are about to come to somebody right now. If you're not nice with us, we're gonna mute this. Who is it, bro?
We're gonna edit it out.
Focalistic.
Oh, that's family. That's family. You definitely gotta do it.
You gotta do that one.
Focalistic is hard.
Yeah,
He's hard.
he's hard.
It's like that's a mixture of like piano, and then there's the line, and then it's hip hop.
It's hip hop.
It's just amazing. And then it's the showmanship of dancing, which translates to more than just South Africa. Also other countries. He just did a remix with Davido for one of his songs.
Yeah, we was just listening to that.
Yeah,
That shit is crazy.
Yeah, and he did that campaign with Spotify as well, which
Shit
is
is crazy.
which is huge. But hopefully you'll be able to make time to actually be in studio with some
You
people.
know who
just
I
before
think
you
is
leave.
dope too? That Ebro introduced me to his music last week. A. Reese.
Showcase. He just released a monster project right now. He's really
Yeah.
nice.
A. Reese, he's nice with it. His pen is nice.
Nice.
Reese.
What were you doing out in Cape Town, if you don't mind me asking? You're just
Chilling.
like hanging out.
Chilling by the
Riding
seaside.
quad bikes and
You on holiday.
mountains.
I just saw a video that Don Design put on Instagram.
Don
of you guys.
Design,
Yeah, chilling at the crib, having the bride.
Yeah.
You know? Real good
I'm
times.
trying to tell you, I'm a Chesa Nyama addict.
Oh, really?
I seem to find it wherever I go. I was trying to tell Nadia, man, she needs to come open a Chesa Nyama in America.
That is actually a
I
plan.
think
A food truck,
really,
Chesa Nyama.
I really feel that Chesa Nyama would be successful in America.
You're
you
right.
know?
Pindy,
But then
you got it, right?
Wouldn't they put that in the same category as what you guys say is a barbecue?
But I'm saying
Is there that much of a difference?
Americans are carnage. You know what I mean? They love
they
meat,
love the blood
You know what I
and the
mean?
meat.
Like, honestly, like, so Korean barbecue is a big thing in America. And it's like, you know, it's unique in its ways. It's like the certain cuts of meat and they bring it and they got a little thing on the table where they grill it on the table. And that's a completely different experience from, you know, our barbecue that you might get on the South Side. That's different from a Chesa Nyama. And I think the Chesa Nyama would be successful in America because, you know, the South African just culture
The
is not
seasoning and
it's not
culture.
something that you fully, you know, that you get much of in America.
You're right.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nando's, although that's like
That blew up.
Portuguese something,
started
but
here.
it's
no,
but
it's
here,
South
right?
African, yeah.
Right.
But it blew up.
I mean, we love Nando's.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You guys
Like,
do. Even when you guys, most of the dudes, when they travel,
when we travel,
yeah, that's the first
now
thing.
we got Nando's like in Chicago, so it's like I don't
Imagine.
eat it as much. But when we didn't have it, and I used to go to London,
Yeah.
I be eating Nando's 7 days a week. You know what I mean? I go to Australia,
actually a
eat it
plan.
7 days a week. I'm trying to tell y'all that she's
That is a plan.
I'm not gonna say it too much longer before I just
Yeah,
do it.
Yeah, you gotta do it. You
And
gotta
then
do it.
y'all gonna be like, "Oh, he stole our shit."
We're gonna send the lawyers to me and be like, Vic, that one is South African. Please, don't even.
I want to go back to some of the music questions. Vic, would it be like a total disservice to not ask you some of these questions? Personally, for me as well, the rock era that you infused in your gear I thought was really fresh, and this is pre-Travis Scott era, where it made it. He's wearing a lot of rock T-shirts and a lot of rock memorabilia in his videos and what so have you. But you were that like pre this era, and that always like it slightly like confused me because it was my first time meeting a dude that was like that, like rocking like that and rapping like that. Where does that rock influence come from? Firstly, from the music and the clothes. Which one came first even?
Definitely music. I mean, I was into rock music before I ever really connected with hip hop music. You know what I'm saying? So when I was a kid, 10 years old and 9 years old, I was playing guitar and, in love with Nirvana and Jimi Hendrix.
That's crazy.
And hair metal stuff and Guns N' Roses, and then I got into punk music and things like Rage Against the Machine and The Clash. And I was just always into that music, you know what I mean?
Okay,
and the
I
spirit
got you.
of it, it's like, I tell people a lot, hip-hop and rock and roll, I mean, these two things are interchangeable. There are hip-hop artists that are being accepted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame because we understand that rock and roll is a spirit, you know what I mean? In the same way that hip-hop is a spirit.
Sure.
In the same way that it's like somebody can be making something that is the piano music, but their whole style and the way they move and in their video, it's hip hop, and it feels, if it feels rebellious, and that's what hip hop means, which is also what rock and roll means. So it's like there's a lot of synergy there.
Sorry.
Would you ever do a full rock album?
I actually did one.
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I guess maybe I haven't tapped into that because I'm not into the rock stuff. I've obviously listened to all the hip hop stuff, so I think I need to kind of take my time and do that.
In terms of the what you're offering now, work wise, what in the journey that you've had with the raging against the machine that was very evident before, the calm phase that you are in now. And even the reflective phase of getting over some of the times that you've gone through, the substance abuse. With the work, I guess the title, I, being there, it's maybe it's very self-reflective. I'm not sure. But what's the work like now that you've released 2 weeks ago? Because from where you've been and where you are, it's a long thing.
Yeah, it's a part of a 3-part series. So
Go.
It's a V tape, I tape, C tape. So the V tape was on the latter end of last year. And that was actually more personal, introspective. And then the I tape is kind of like more external, you know what I mean? Talking about the things going on in the world and around me and my perspective on those things. You know what I'm saying? And I really just been focused on my pen, you know what I mean? Just like focused on my rhymes and just like writing. And just really writing some of the best raps that I've ever written.
You're a very clever writer. Do you read a lot? Do you watch a lot of documentaries? What do you intake? What do you ingest to make sure that you have things to say, even if it's in that view that you put it in? But it's very clever. It's very like intricate.
I try to be very intentional about what I ingest and my diet, with media and TV and music. I don't listen to a lot of new music. I mainly listen to soul music and classic hip hop and Marvin Gaye. I mean, I was with him riding around listening to Sammy Davis Jr.
Nice.
And I read a lot. You know what I'm saying? I don't watch much TV. I read way more books than I watch TV shows.
Is that an intentional thing? Obviously, just to kind of protect yourself from the toxicity of the world, you know what I mean? Because
100%.
sometimes it can get a little overwhelming, especially with a lot of the stuff that you see on social media, the bullying on social media. That it's a lot. Does that also kind of speak to why you got to a point where you actually had? I think you've got is it a charity or is it a foundation called Save Money, Save a Life?
Yeah.
What was that something personal for you that you decided you needed to do, or was it something that maybe like a PR manager said, "Yo, you need to get yourself involved in this"? Because sometimes that's the conversation, but
No,
maybe for
true.
you, it's a
That's
personal
true.
conversation for you.
My big brother tells me that to be a servant is the highest calling. You know what I'm saying? And I believe that. I live my life like that, and I believe in the power of the universe, the energy that you give is what you get. You know what I'm saying? So I make it a point to try to help people, you know, point blank, because I recognize that it's like ain't nobody coming to save us. You know what I'm saying? I know that South Africa deals with a lot of the things that we deal with, you know, in America as black people. I mean, in Chicago, it's hectic over here, it's hectic over there, and ain't nobody coming to save us, man. You know, so as I've grown, I've taken on that role for myself. You know what I mean? Definitely not a PR stunt by any means.
Who's cutting your hair here in SA? Like, who's the barber? Because you look like you just hopped out of a chair in America, bro. Who's the barber?
Scoop's trying to get the...
She said he charging too much.
You paid $1,000.
Did you go to Legends Barber?
Mustbedubz. I know. He's trying to pay the rent. That's the thing. When you, I don't know.
He hit me with that American price.
He definitely.
It'll cost you that in America. Somebody to come to you for sure.
For sure.
Yeah, it'll cost you that. You know, that's why I couldn't even trip. I'm like, hey man, you did a good job, man.
Here you go. Break him off. How long do you plan on staying? Do you have any resolute ideas of how long you're gonna stay for? Or you're just gonna, because usually people just keep pushing the ticket back.
That's what I did. So I was supposed to leave Monday, and now I've pushed it to Sunday. So we'll see what happens.
Yeah, just make sure it's within time, because we don't want another Mustbedubz situation happening over here.
So what's going on? Why y'all always try to talk crazy about my boy Yasin?
I love Yasin.
What's going on?
He talks crazy about everybody.
Because she's not the first one though.
Do you know
That's the same thing Nadia says. She's like, Mustbedubz just stays here and he does.
Do you know what the thing was? I don't think anybody had a problem with him really being here. It's just he overstayed his welcome.
What you
and
mean?
just like
who?
No, because every country's got restrictions.
What did he do? What did he do that was so reckless?
They don't apply these restrictions to
Germans.
Germans.
He was doing what?
He was just like living here.
What was he doing that was so reckless?
Nothing. It's just his visa had expired. That's all.
The Germans in Cape Town. The Germans in Cape Town, they stay here forever.
What about these white people? Has their visa not expired
yet?
They go and they come back. That's what they do. They're smart about it. So I'm just saying, be careful. You know, don't get kicked out.
I was doing some research. Sound like they've been here a long time.
Very long time. Very long time.
Longer than they should be.
I shouldn't mention names, but yeah, you guys know who you are. I was gonna ask you. I also think, since you are that Gemini dude with dual souls, and you've got this music thing, I would also thought by now you would have gotten into acting, man. Like, I really think you could play a revisited version of American History X, you know what I'm saying? With the black dude fucking shit up. You know what I mean? So, like,
the reverse racist.
Yeah.
No,
like,
I've been acting, actually. I've been acting a lot. So I got a TV show that I've been filming for in Chicago.
You're definitely built for that.
Super dope show. And you know, just been studying the craft. Like mentioning Mos Def, I was in Cannes about 2 years ago, maybe 3 now, and I ran into Yasin and Common, you know, out there in the south of France, and I was chopping it up with Common. Common, my favorite rapper, by the way. You know what I mean?
100.
And I was chopping it up with Common just about, you know, playing, you know, both those lanes the way he has. Because those are two of, not to mention just the best MCs, but also the most notable MCs that have also, you know, been
crossed
dope
over.
actors.
Yasin crazy.
And so Common was just like, man, you know, study the craft. And so that's really what I've been doing for the last few years is studying the craft. You know what I mean? And doing some roles here and there. But I've been definitely rocking with it. Y'all gotta stop hating on Mos Def like that, man.
No, we're not hating. We're not hating.
No,
Definitely
don't get me
not
wrong.
I love Yasin.
Don't get us
that's my
wrong.
guy.
It's just, the thing is, it was the conversation at the time. I was like, but why doesn't he want to go home? Like,
why doesn't he want to go home? Because that's what I wanted to say. That's what I wanted to say, man. America is a crazy fucking place. You know what I mean? You know how it's so much fucking pressure being black in America that sometimes we just want to leave. You know what I mean? Sometimes we want to go where black people are. Obviously, black people have freedoms restricted from them and things aren't all perfect here. They're not all perfect in Ghana. But it's like sometimes as black Americans, you know, we we want to escape being constantly under fire. You stick out, you know.
One time.
And the crazy thing though is that whenever as a Black American you say, fuck this shit, I'm going to Africa. Immediately, the first thing they say is
What
you
you doing?
smoke crack. They say you smoke crack. You know what I mean? If you, Dave Chappelle, want to just be like, okay, y'all trying to hold me hostage in this industry, fuck y'all, I'm going to Africa. He's smoking crack. You Lauryn Hill, you want to get up out the jam, you smoking crack. Everybody wants to say you're on drugs. And, you know, it's like,
I'm a firm believer that the powers that be
tough.
do not want the unity.
That's what I'm
That's
saying.
why.
And that's what I'm
Really?
saying.
Why do you say that?
Because it doesn't serve them in their capitalistic endeavors and their racial endeavors for Black people of any nature, border, country to start talking. Just like work gets easy for them when they start talking. If we started conversing and we started exchanging knowledge and things,
Building business together.
yeah.
It'll be crazy.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Because it's like we are on two different sides of the same coin. If
Yeah.
Black people are 13% of the United States population,
Yeah.
and white people are about 13% of the South African population. But in both cases, they own 90% of the wealth.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And as we start to collaborate and speak to each other and recognize that we have the common enemy, then we can collectivize our power. You know what I mean? So
Sure.
you need to be like, come on, Mos Def, come spend some more
That's
time
what
with
I'm
me.
saying.
Let's figure it out.
That's what I'm saying.
Let's put it
I'm not
together.
hating on him. Please understand.
I'm just messing with
I think
you.
it was honestly just like the
No,
funny
you-
conversation at the
you-
time.
I've heard so many people say the same thing. I'm just messing with you.
But you know what? It would be great, obviously, because now you have the knowledge and the experience of being in South Africa to basically say, yo, come
like
on over,
this.
let's collaborate, let's do this. Because we also, I experience it a lot when I go to the States, and the ignorance about what Africa is about really scares me, because for me, I'm
Yeah.
just like, I get it. Maybe you don't necessarily learn African history, but at least understand a map and know that there's more than one country in Africa. That is what honestly scares me, because it's like, okay, but they're choosing not to understand the greater scheme of things, as opposed to just, oh, okay, well, you're from Africa, you must know Smang Mang from Nigeria. I was like, no.
You know, it's really all by design, though. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, it's like we as Black Americans have been systematically detached from Africa and been given propaganda, you know, to believe that Africa is all flies and, you know,
Yeah.
straw huts, like, honestly. And then on the other side of the coin, Africans on the continent have certain ideas that they're given of Black Americans, you know, in stereotypical terms. And it's like, I think we all got to take a step back, look at it,
Yeah.
and think who is benefiting from us having a misunderstanding. You know, who's the culprit here? You know what I mean? Because it's not us. It's not us that's misleading ourselves. It's like
Yeah.
we've been disconnected. So it's like I try to focus on how can we build that link. You know
I'm
what
loving
saying?
what Yassine did. I love what you are doing. And of course, there's plenty more. And I've often wondered why it didn't happen earlier. When I heard the comments, who's also been here, that era of the awakening of neo soul and
Yeah.
Afrocentricity
Right. Yeah,
in
yeah.
the music, Dead Prez, I was like, damn, imagine if Erykah Badu, Common, and all those dudes put their money together and just moved. But obviously, it's tough to leave everything behind.
Right.
But when I do watch the news now, I'm like, sooner or later, the choice is going to be made for you. Whether
Yeah.
you're going to, and it's not even about the old people like you. It's going to be about your kids. Stevie Wonder's like, I don't want my kids to be raised in a place where they have to beg for respect. And I know South Africa's not that easy. I know Ghana's not that easy. But having traveled, I'm always like, I love coming to shop in America.
Yeah.
But then I want to go home
Exactly.
to SA.
I'm
you
always
know?
just like, these people are so rude. Like, they can't even say hi. They could, you know what I mean? Like,
everyone's
little
just
things.
stuck in their mind, and it's like, yo, but the opportunity, that milk and that honey, you do taste it. You're like, there's no other place. And even in the minority that you guys are, the way that you have affected the whole world, and it's not just Black people in the whole world. Vic, it's Japanese people that are
Yeah.
tanning and rapping.
You know, no, that's one thing I will say. And I was actually trying to explain this to Nadia and not having much luck about trying to sell America to her,
Yeah.
you know, because she was kind of like, you know.
She loves it. She's just hating.
And I'll say, man, America, obviously, America is that, you know, it's that gunpowder. It's like it's a rocket. It's the opportunity to blast. But it's like what comes along with that is, you know, severe lows and just like a depth of violence, everything bad, you know, but it also is that opportunity to go all the way up.
Yeah.
You know, but it's also, like you said, man, it's just hectic. It's like sometimes you want to be outside of that, you know, and that's why I love being in Africa, because there's a different peace that I feel when I'm in Africa.
Have you walked bare feet? You grounded yourself?
Nah.
You should.
Well, I guess on the beach.
Yeah, I was about to say, on the
should
beach,
have
I'm
those
sure he
crosses.
I was
has.
on the beach.
Yeah.
It was
Very
Yeah.
good for you. Speaking of that rocket and that and how everything comes with the success, we're not a breakfast club. It won't be all over. But I just want to, from a person that knew him, is it yay the transformation? If there's a transformation with what he's going through right now, what the media says, like, are we cool? Is it good with him? How do you feel about, I mean, I was talking with my friend the other day and I'm like, yo man, what Kanye's done with everything he said about the politics of Nike, the Louis Vuitton, he's been such a flippin' juggernaut in speaking against stuff. And the fact that he's been this wealthy is also crazy, because normally a guy wouldn't achieve this. But then someone said, but yo, if I look at it, he paid his mind for that 6.6 billion. And I was like, fuck, you know, I won't know the tale. I don't know the ins and outs.
I think, you know, don't believe everything you read on the internet.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
Like, in every regard. You know what I'm saying? Take it all with a grain of salt. Because there's a lot of misinformation that goes on. And, you know, above all, Kanye is, you know, he's the originator of so many things. And that can't be taken from him. And it also isn't going to stop. You know what I mean? He is a human being. And, you know what I mean? We all deal with, you know, our mental health and, you know what I mean, our health in general, and our relationships that start and they end. And, you know, I believe that the man's going to be all right. You know, you said something a second ago, not about Kanye, that made me think, though, you know, about like Black Americans, how, you know, influential.
Yeah, they've influenced the world.
And so I did a TED Talk recently for TEDx Accra, and it was about, you know, reuniting Black Americans with the continent. And, man, you know, by the year 2050, 1 out of every 4 people on the planet, I think, is going to be an African.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And when you take that strength in numbers with the cultural influence of Black America, the connection there, the potential for collaboration and for building of real power and wealth is so vast. It's like I've been to, you know, pretty much every corner of the planet, you know, over the past 7 years or so. And whether I'm in Asia or I'm in South America or I'm in Africa or I'm in Canada or I'm in Australia, it's like literally, as being an American artist, somebody has recognized me in every place in the planet. You know? And it's like, and that's not an anomaly. You know what I mean? It's like that's the influence that we have. And so that's why I'm steady pushing. It's like we got to put this together. You know what I mean?
Yes, 100%.
You just gave us an idea that might change the whole fucking
barbecue industry.
There we go. Like that.
Just like Nyama in Chicago.
That's. I'm good with it. I don't know if we got anything more, man.
Well, we do. We do have just something a little bit lighthearted, because I think we've just been a bit serious over the past 40 minutes.
Sure.
But we do just want to play just a little game with you, just to, you know, loosen things up a little bit. I'm not too sure if you also got your card. I think Dee's about to fetch it for you as well. So basically, it's like a little game. He's going to give you a card. We're going to play like 30 seconds.
Cool.
And you have to describe those situations to us, and hopefully we'll be able to understand exactly what's on the card. And then I've also got a couple of questions for you as well.
No doubt.
Hopefully you're not
What
gonna
shoes are those? Are those
fail this
PMOs?
test.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
This guy, he's just
I'm trying, man. I'm trying.
keeping his finger on the pulse, man. Just be knowing everything.
No, he does.
I'm
He
not
does.
sure.
He is that guy. All right, so I've got my timer here. All right, so you're gonna start it off. You've got 30 seconds
Oh,
to
okay. So this is charade. So I'm trying to
basically, but
I'm
don't say
I'm
what's on the
talking
card.
about it, but I just
Yeah,
okay.
All right, let's
All
go.
right.
We're gonna start first, or he
No,
starts?
no, he's starting.
All right.
High-end fashion line inspired by Chesa.
Makhosa. You were wearing the jersey on the video.
Yeah.
Shout outs.
Biggest rapper in Ghana.
Ooh. Sakodi.
Sakodi, yeah, I was
Yeah.
about to say.
Man, you know, it's a mountain in Cape Town. And
Table.
Table Mountain.
I don't know about this one. This is what you call like a okay. I'm
Your
done.
time's up.
Cool.
But just finish
'Cause
it
I
off.
ain't know
Finish
how
it
to-
off.
No, I ain't know how to. I don't like that one anyway.
You weren't too sure about it. All right, don't worry. Okay, I've got a couple of questions for you. So I'm gonna hit you up with some people's original names, government names, birth names, and you need to let me know who the artist is.
Gonna be like what? What's Future's Navadius? So, all right, try me out.
All right,
Probably
so
don't know
I've
that.
got. We'll start it off easy. Dominic Jones.
Am I supposed to know who that is?
Yes.
DJ.
Huh?
I don't-
You've made music with some of them, so that's
Nah,
why.
This
Give him
gonna
a clue.
This gonna be
for
fucked up.
Dominic
They gonna
Jones.
watch this. They gonna be like, "You really don't know me. You don't even know me."
Give him a clue for
Dominic Jones.
He's from the ATL. He's running shit right now.
Yeah, he's killing the game right now.
Little baby.
Yes, there you go. All right, Trevor Taheem Smith Jr.
Damn.
Old school rapper from New York, part of the conglomerate.
Animated.
Busta Rhymes.
Yes. Tyrone William Griffin Jr.
Oh, that's Ty.
Yes. All right. I hope I don't pronounce this incorrectly. Terrius Youngdale Nash.
Oh, is that Future?
No.
No.
Oh, that's the Dream.
Yeah.
That's 5 out of 5.
I do know some of these.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
At least when they watch this, then they'll be like, okay, he's actually the dude. He's the homie. You know.
If I know you, then I probably would know your name. But if not, then I wouldn't.
Showcase. Thank you so much, man.
Thank
really
you for
been
making
a
the
pleasure.
time.
Wow.
No doubt. Thank you guys
And
for
also,
having
thank
me.
you so much for engaging us in the conversation. Also, just being so open to South Africans, and hopefully you'll be able to come back and bring some
I'll
of your
be back for
homies.
sure.
No doubt.
Yeah.
No doubt, bro.
100%.
Thank you.
Yes.
Shout out Nadia and go to Sispin. It's your bong.
Yes. Thank you so much. And of course, we're still here on the Pop Radio with myself and Scoop. Don't go nowhere. Yo, what an insightful interview.
That was
hey,
really, really nice.
I could see like you were like really getting it
Fully
in. At some
in.
point, I was like, okay, let Scoop talk because
Nah,
it's going
he's
in.
fascinating. And he's so chilled.
Yeah.
It's very
yeah.
chilled, very cool demeanor, Is it an American thing? Or is it just
No, because for me, I was actually about to say, I love the fact that he engaged us so much because I've interviewed some Americans before and you get this very like one word answer,
Yeah.
don't mess with me, don't ask me funny questions type of energy from them.
Yeah.
So I really like the fact that he was like conversational, he was with it and he wasn't too like jaded about what we were saying,
Sure.
Yeah.
Also love the fact that we stayed clear of Nadia and Akai and relationship questions. It shows
I think he also
professionality
tried
on-
to steer away from it.
Yeah, it showed professionality on our part, and also just not needing to hop onto controversy and issues of that nature to make a good interview. I think it's so
Yeah.
easy to go down that road,
Yeah.
and that's what makes people shut off.
Yeah.
They'll be like, "Oh, you're just here for that,"
Yeah.
Whereas if you show interest in them and their career and who they are, they can. If we did dive into it, they would have easily given it to us.
Tricky nyana. Anyway, I think on that note, we need to say game over. And we'll be back again with the POPcast next week, Tuesday. Thank you so much for being with us.
Hey, hey, hey.